Hello, how are you? Okay, my name is Brooke, and I am here to talk to you guys about oils and emotions. And we're going to cover a little bit of sleep also in this class. This is going to be pretty short. Just want to give you some good information that's going to help you guys, and it's really a privilege to talk about this. This is a subject that is very near and dear to my heart. I have walked a journey of some panic attacks and anxiety stuff, and I'm just going to chat with you guys about how oils have supported me in that journey. So we have been with Young Living for almost 8 years. When we got started, we bought our starter kit. We needed some oils to help me sleep. I was pregnant and having trouble sleeping, and so we grabbed some Peace and Calming. And then my oldest daughter was struggling with some seasonal sniffles. We wanted something that was going to be an alternative for her, so we ended up starting with Peace and Calming, lavender, lemon, and peppermint in our diffusers. Fell in love with our oils, started going through the rest of the kit to see what these oils could do, and started learning, and just really committed to that type of lifestyle for our family. And then now here we are, like 8 years later, so pretty crazy. But I wanted to fast forward from when we started to about 4 years later. We had just moved into the home that we're in now, and it is very different than where we lived before. We're in the country. We don't have a lot of neighbors, and I was very anxious about coming out here, a little bit, unsettled about coming out here, but I knew this is where we were supposed to go. And so we'd been in our home for about 2 weeks, and my husband had actually just mentioned that he was very proud of the way I had been adjusting to our new place, and he spoke a little too soon. That night or the next night, very soon after he said that, I woke up in the middle of the night in the middle of a horrific panic attack. If you have had one, then you know what they are like, and you pretty much feel like you're gonna die in those moments. And so I got up, and I had like zero training, zero experience in this, did not know what to do. All I knew was I needed out of my body, and that's not possible. So I was pacing the floor. I was laying on the tile because I needed something cold. I was really hot. I ended up jumping in a cold shower to try to like jolt my body out of it. But when I got out of the shower, I knew I needed an oil to help so that I could breathe it in. And I was searching for Valor. I was looking just for a purple labeled bottle, and I ended up picking up Sacred Mountain. I had not used that oil before, so I ended up getting back in the bed, trying to calm down, slow down my breathing. And I remember holding that bottle up to my nose for about the next 2 hours until I could finally fall back asleep. And that oil is now my go-to for any heightened emotions that I may be feeling. That is typically the first one that I grab. It doesn't hold a bad memory for me, because when you smell certain things, it's going to pull up a memory for you, whether it be cookies baking, or the smell of cranberry and orange and cinnamon, the smells that you smell when you go to the beach. Different scents will bring up different memories for you, and it does not do that for me. It's actually a very calming scent for me, so it's typically the one that I grab whenever I'm feeling any emotions that are not joyful emotions. So I wanted to talk to you guys. I've got some notes over here if you see me glancing over, about why we use oils for emotions and how we use them for emotional support. One of the most powerful uses of your essential oils is for your brain, which is for your emotions. When you diffuse an oil, you're getting that into your body faster than any other method, faster than you rolling it on topically. You don't just get it into one particular part of your body, but you get it into your entire body within 3 seconds. That's pretty crazy. And when your oils, when you are breathing them in, i.e. diffusing them or putting them in the palm of your hand, cupping them, cupping that over your nose, we call that a scent tint. I love to do that when my emotions are feeling a little bit out of control. But when you do that, those oils are entering your nasal cavity and they're getting past the olfactory membrane at the top of your nose, and they have the ability to go through your blood-brain barrier. And the reason they can do this is because of their size. Oil molecules are a lot smaller than the viruses. So because of this, they have access to the limbic lobe of the brain, which is the emotional center of your body. So that's why when you are using oils for emotional support, you want to be breathing those oils in. And I'll give you some tips for that here in just a minute. If you handle stress poorly, if you get tense in a full room of people, or if you're holding on to some painful memories that are keeping you from moving on, oils can definitely help you. And I can absolutely testify to that. Besides my faith, and my family, obviously, oils have been a huge tool for me. It's not that oils are going to cure these things, but they will get into the limbic lobe and do some purging that's going to allow the body to do its own healing. And this is called emotional oiling, and there is a full science behind it. One of the reasons that oils work for emotions is simply because of the constituents that they are naturally made of. Those little molecules help the plants process stress. So why would it not work the same way for human emotions? Why would we not harness that for our own emotional support? I actually shared this today on Instagram. I think it's really cool, but I have a plant right over here, and he is underneath my Aria diffuser. And I noticed just like last week, I was like, oh my gosh, he is growing so tall and like straight up in the air. And I think it's really cool because I know that that is happening because he is right under the diffuser and he is getting all of those oils that I am diffusing right on top of him. So I actually moved another plant over there that's looking a little bit sad to see if it will help him. But that's just a testimony, like a physical testimony to what oils can do. It's doing it for that plant. It's making him very happy, making him want to grow and stand up tall. So why can we not use that the same way for our emotions? And we can, which is really, really neat. So let's talk real quick about how emotions work. Scientists tell us that they can visibly see when an emotion hits the brain. It is like a pebble being tossed into a lake. There are ripples across the surface of the brain, and a physical effect turns into something emotional. So if you get some news from someone that is traumatic, it's a physical thing that turns into an emotional thing. When something painful happens, we think that we can cry, tuck it away, and it's over, but that is not the way that the body was designed by God. We can try to block out an emotion because it was uncomfortable, but most of the time something is getting stored in your body. When an emotion happens, your body enacts your fight or flight, which happens in your adrenal glands, and something, well, I'll get to that in a second, but it enacts your fight or flight senses, and that activates your endocrine system. And I can absolutely speak from experience. I had about 3 years of reoccurring panic attacks and heightened emotions, and when I went to see a doctor not long ago, I was told that I have adrenal fatigue. Well, your adrenal glands are responsible for your fight or flight hormones. And so with them constantly being activated, it completely wore them out. So let's find out what happens when this kind of trauma happens to you. The body will release some of it. The body ignores some of it, and then the body is going to store some of it as far away from the brain and the heart as it can. Some of it is left to fester like wounds that never heal. Did you know that the average cell can expand up to 600 times from toxins? And typically when we think of toxins, we think of chemicals or maybe some fried food that we're eating, fragrances, any kind of synthetic things, but actually emotions can be toxic to your health as well. You can literally have emotions stored just about anywhere in your body, Anywhere the body can put it away, pull it away from your vital organs, your body is going to store it there. And this is where your oils are going to come in for emotional oiling. Young Living has a lot of different blends that are here to support your emotions. The goal with your emotions and your oils is to get to where you are using them without even thinking about it, making it an instinct. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I make my bed, I brew my coffee, and I fill my diffusers all throughout the bottom of my house. And I just, pick what I want to diffuse that day. If I'm feeling sad, I'll pick some oils that are going to uplift my mood. If I'm feeling maybe some heightened feelings, I'll diffuse oils for that. But I fill my diffusers so that we can breathe them in. And then when I'm getting ready for the day, I love to do oils. There's a Happy Day protocol that Gary formulated for us. I love to use that. But I do some other oils as well, but I'll put them on my shoulders, over my heart, on my wrists, and then I love to put my oils in the bottom of my hair, and this kind of acts like a natural diffuser where I can continue to breathe them in. And then whatever's left on the palm of my hand, I'll do a scent tint and take like 5 really deep breaths in of those oils to really get those into my brain and into my limbic system. The more that you oil, the more you are working on your emotions, but also simply by acknowledging your emotions that you're feeling, they are being expressed when you do that. So in being expressed, emotions can be released, even old emotions that are stored in your body. But you can also use oils to help you with that. So let me share a few of my favorite blends with you guys. Sacred Mountain, like I spoke about in the beginning, it is supposed to support grounding, a feeling of grounding and protection. Valor is another one of our favorites that we call Courage in a Bottle. And my children, well, they do love Valor, but sometimes they'll say, when I smell Valor, it reminds me of the first day of school. Because we homeschool now, but we would slather that on them for the first day of school when they had those first day of school jitters. So they kind of correlate that with that memory, but that is like one of their top oils to diffuse at nighttime. So I think we've kind of changed that memory and that emotion for them because they love that oil. Grounding is another really incredible oil. I used it when I was in Utah and was feeling those heightened emotions because I was away from home, away from my kids and my husband, and it was very, very calming for me. It is supposed to help create feelings of stability and clarity. And then Tranquil is a roller that Young Living makes. I actually have it in here by my kitchen sink because I've been using it a lot here lately. And one tip that I was shared by the lady that had told me about my adrenal fatigue was to actually roll it over my adrenals, and that was going to help to calm them down. And I love to do that. So your adrenals are located at the bottom of your back, right above your bottom. So if you are feeling some heightened emotions, if that's something that maybe you struggle with, that is a great place for you to apply your oils, and that's just going to help to just chill out your adrenal glands a little bit. I can tell a really big difference when I use them there. I love that. Trauma Life is another wonderful blend that you can grab if you've been through a traumatic experience. This is one that people highly recommend. And then Present Time is one of my favorites, one of my last favorites. And that is just to bring you into a mindset of the present and being in the present and enjoying the present and not maybe looking back at some traumatic emotions that you may be having. So let's talk about sleep a little bit because it's kind of a catch-22. When you're feeling some heightened emotions, it's really hard for you to get a good night's sleep because maybe your brain won't shut off, maybe your heart, you can feel your heart beating faster than normal and you just have that unsettledness in your spirit. But if you're not getting sleep, then it's going to create more of those heightened emotions for you. So it's tough because if you're not getting sleep, it's going to feed those emotions. But if you're feeling those emotions, it's hard for you to sleep. So there are some oils that can help with sleep. If you're getting a good night's rest, that's always going to help with your emotional state and how you're feeling emotionally, especially if you are feeling some anxiousness, that is going to help. So some of our favorite oils to use are lavender, of course, That is one of our all-time go-tos. Cedarwood is another wonderful oil for you to use. We love to diffuse Valor, like I said before. Sacred Mountain is another great one. Really, all of the oils that we diffuse for emotional support, we will use for sleep as well. But there are some tips when it comes to sleep. Some great places for you to apply your oils topically. First would be on the bottom of your big toe. If you look at a VitaFlex chart, that's simply showing you where your nerve endings go in your body. And your big toe, the nerves are connected to your brain. So that's gonna kind of help shut your brain off for the night to help you to be able to rest and to relax and to sleep. So Valor on the bottom of your big toe is a great thing to do, or vetiver is a wonderful oil for that as well. Another place we like to apply our oils is the bottom of our spine, and then we like to apply them right at the tops of our ear. The skin is very thin up here, so we'll apply our oils there as well. And then of course, fill our diffusers with whatever we're using for sleep. Everyone in our home has a diffuser in their room, and we diffuse every single night when they're going to bed. And then you can also, when you're done applying those oils topically, always put them in your hand, breathe them in really deep. We do have some great rollers too that are formulated for sleep. Rutavala is one of my favorites. It does not smell good. I'm just gonna forewarn you, my husband hates the smell of that oil, but it works so well. So you could just put it on the bottom of your feet, put some socks on so you don't smell it. And then Tranquil is also another one that we love to use for heightened emotions and for sleep support. We have a Stress Away roll-on that is wonderful as well. And then we have a Valor roll-on too that you can grab. And we do have some supplements that are really great for sleep. We use both of them in our house. There is an Unwind supplement that is formulated for children, and it has L-theanine, I believe it has magnesium and maybe a little bit of melatonin in it, along with some essential oils. I give that to my kids, but I also take it myself. I feel like it really helps me to get a good night's rest. And then there is a Sleep Essence supplement that my husband takes every night, and that does have some melatonin in it. I cannot remember the other ingredients, but it's definitely one that you want to look up if you are somebody that maybe struggles with getting a good night's sleep. Roll your oils on, diffuse your oils, take one of those supplements, and no blue light, no phone before bed. Maybe grab a good book, make a relaxing environment for yourself, and that's gonna make a huge difference in the way that you sleep. So I hope this has been helpful for you guys. Just know that I have a story and a journey when it comes to using oils for emotional support, and I'm very open about it. So if you're someone that maybe has a story similar to mine, but you are still in need of something to help, something to work, I'm always open to helping you and to speaking to you about it and to walking through that experience with you. So please feel free to reach out to me or anybody else in our Oil & Co team. We would all love to help you with that. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. I hope this was helpful to you, and we'll see you later. Bye.